Now, it has been a pretty miserable autumn international period for England and Wales. Steve Borthwick has lost all 3 games and they're preparing to face Japan this weekend as Eddie Jones returns to face his former side. Let's go live to James Cole, who's at their training base. And James, we'll start with the breaking news. Just had some England squad updates in the last few minutes. What can you tell us?
Yes, Cadan Murley, the Harlequins wing, has been called up to the England training squad, as has Tom Curry, the Sale flanker. Out go Elliot Daly, the Saracens back. He's picked up an injury. And Bathlock, Charlie Ewels, who isn't injured but drops out of the group. The big sort of surprise, I guess, if you like, the line is that Tom Curry is returning. Curry picked up a nasty-looking concussion against Australia the weekend before last at Twickenham, and it really didn't look good at all. But obviously England feel that he can get through the concussion protocols and has a chance to play against Japan on Sunday. And there is no Manny Feo-Waboso in the squad either, the Exeter wing. He also suffered a concussion against Australia, but clearly isn't reacting as well, going through the return to play protocols, so he will not feature on Sunday against Japan. So a squad update from England. Cadan Murley, a young Harlequins winger with a lot of prospect, a lot of potential, has been called up, and Tom Curry, the Sale Sharks flanker, is in too to prepare for what could be a banana skin against Japan on Sunday.
And what about Steve Borthwick then, James? Because he's adamant that he has the full support of the RFU board. If they were to lose this weekend, do you think that would all change?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course it would. It would be very hard for Steve Borthwick to argue, which he is arguing at the moment to his RFU bosses, that this team is progressing if they lose to Japan on Sunday. It's a tricky fixture because everyone expects England to win comfortably against Japan. So if they do win comfortably, it's just par for the course. If they don't win comfortably, questions start to be asked. And if, as you allude to there, they lose this game, then it is catastrophic in terms of England and making progress. The backstory to all that, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, is that Eddie Jones is now in charge of Japan, the former England coach. He may or may not decide to put a few quotes out there this week that puts more pressure on Steve Borthwick. The likes of it's not so easy, is it? Because Steve Borthwick's record this year is very similar to the record that Eddie Jones had in his final year, which saw him sacked. So, yeah, potentially a very tricky game for England. They need to win, and they need to win well. In terms of the progression argument, are England making progression? Well, the results suggest not, but there have been encouraging signs this autumn in terms of their attack. At fly half, Marcus Smith has looked excellent. They've looked very threatening, England, in attack, a lot more threatening than 12 months ago, and you can see encouraging signs there. But the big issue has to be their defence. They're conceding around about 4 tries per game this autumn. It is very hard to win Test rugby if you're conceding that many points. And the background to that is that England lost their defence coach, Felix Jones, in the summer. He handed in his resignation. He's effectively on gardening leave at the moment, seeing out his resignation period in Ireland, and in brought Steve Borthwick brought in his mate Joel Abd to run defence, but they're still operating the same system that Felix Jones incorporated, which is a blitz defence, which is a high risk, high reward operating defence where you blitz up from the outside and force your teams inside, but at the moment England aren't getting much reward from it. So if they can beat Japan and beat them well, Steve Borthwick may well go away between now and the Six Nations, which gets underway in February the 1st, and decide whether they need to carry on with this defence, which clearly isn't working, or go back to the drawing board.